Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. 233 episodes in the can, baby. How do they do it? Maybe they're born for this. Maybe it's Maybelline. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health, and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as acalculous cholecystitis and crunchtastic. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, I have a new genius idea that is finally going to make us go viral.
Okay, yes, because your last idea you said would do it for sure.
Oh, I put a lot of money betting that it would go viral. I found this guy, I gave him some odds.
In the same alley?
Yeah.
The alleyway?
Yeah. It's just the one behind the studio. It's the guy that I go to for most of my, 401k advice, relationship advice. Actually, that leads me into exactly what I'm talking about. Dr. London, I've seen so many viral Reddit threads that get passed around, like posted on Twitter, posted on TikTok with like the robot voice and Minecraft is playing in the background or whatever. But it'll be these subreddits that are like, some are relationship advice, some are like, today I f***ed up. Or some are like, off my chest, where people confess stuff. Or some are like, am I the asshole? And they're asking, am I the asshole? And so then I've noticed there are these podcasts that just read that. That's the podcast. We're not going to do that. We're going to beat them at their own game. We're not going to just read other people's posts. Right now, me and you are going to craft our own submission that we're going to post. Then it'll go viral, get on TikTok with robot voice, and then some person will read it on their podcast. And then the listeners will be like, wow, that was such a good Reddit post. I wonder who did that. And then boom, new listener.
Yeah, and all we have to do is leave a few breadcrumbs along the way to help them find the original source. Because this will be stolen for sure.
Oh, yeah, but it needs to be ingrained. It can't be easily cropped out that we are... Maybe that should be the focus. It should be podcast like focused. Well, here, let's figure out where are we submitting this post. One of these long form annoying posts.
Just to clarify, for everyone who's thinking like, well, shouldn't you figure out what you're even going to say? No, the first thing is to figure out what platform you're going to
sub. Pick the subreddit you're going to do. There's like, today I f***ed up, off my chest, am I the asshole, relationship advice, cat memes, the Indiana Pacers subreddit, grief support subreddit, Samsung tech support subreddit, ketchup lovers subreddit, and quick food hacks subreddit. And the Jock podcast subreddit.
Yeah, which is blowing up.
That's going viral by itself. Unfortunately, we're hemorrhaging listeners. Like as the subreddit grows, people are sort of jumping ship from this to that.
I guess, so as I was saying earlier, I feel like off my chest just because I've done that in surgery before. Like that's that and then the ketchup one.
Okay, so we're going to post to the off my chest. So it's going to be you're going to be confessing whatever. Let's make it about the podcast. Maybe do like my podcast producer confession. My podcast producer is like so much cooler than me or something.
Are you sure you don't want to give me an example here? Because it feels like you're kind of leading me into what I'm going to say.
That's the example. That's I gave you an example.
Okay. The example was my podcast producer.
Oh, confession. I hate it, but my podcast producer is so much cooler than me.
Okay, I'll try to come up with something, and it sounds like I'm not going to catch on, but I'll try. Okay, so just to get it off my chest, hey guys, that's how they start, right? Hey guys, I'm 87 parentheses M end parentheses the tool handler by profession. I was I was at surgery, parentheses, no cap.
You need a catchy title. That's the thing, right? Like, off my chest.
Yeah. Off my chest, you should see the other guy in surgery for the title. Maybe that's good. So, as I was saying, no cap, in parentheticals. Okay.
Yeah, there's no capping. We know that.
Yeah. Well, I want to emphasize it in case some people think that there is capping. So, I'm there in surgery, right? And then, in parentheses, pause to hear the response.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I hear you there.
I figure in this post, like me saying yeah to everything will be in there, just in parentheses.
Okay. These are all sorry. I'm used to drafting these myself.
Yeah.
So it is weird to hear actual feedback. Yeah. So I'm cutting this guy up, right? Then I notice.
Oh, first thing, before you actually get to whatever's going to be in your title, you've got to be like, all right, for some context. And then you need to give just a ton of completely unnecessary context that has nothing to do with anything. Like, start from your childhood.
Yeah, okay. For context, I grew up in a suburban neighborhood, but not that suburban. And most of our voting and politics came actually from our next door neighbor because we didn't keep up with that stuff. And so they usually said, like, you're going to need to vote red. And then we'd be like, okay, that makes sense, whatever. It personally doesn't affect us that much. Over time, I learned that maybe there's a reason to look at these things a little bit critically and just have room for healthy debate. I never really had a girlfriend per se, but
you have been in the talking period sometimes.
Yeah. And there has been a lot of back and forth, but at the critical moment, I didn't chicken out. I felt like it was the wrong time for both of us, but especially for her.
Yeah. Both of us. And then in parentheses, F36.
So anyway, so that's the context. So I totally, I used the wrong tool. I was supposed to use a scalpel. I used a shovel on this guy's chest.
Oh no.
Yeah. Took out way more than I meant to. And it's one of these things, you go in pretty hard. You have to go with confidence, otherwise people think you don't know what you're doing. And I do totally know.
The nurses would laugh at you.
And you don't
want the nurses to laugh at you. They would heckle you so bad.
Yeah. And what's crazy about this, just spoiler
the nurses,
alert,
parentheses, 36F, 32M, 36 question mark?
Yeah.
34F in parentheses.
Question mark, but then also parentheses. I'm just trying to be polite. I'm not sure. Not really for sure. I don't want to ask because I've known them for a long time.
You haven't seen them. They haven't shown up to work. They keep saying that they have a cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, they keep going on about this cruise over text. I haven't seen them because they've been texting.
Yeah. They email you and say, hey, I'm on another cruise.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Do you need someone else to take your, to sub for you? Take your hours? And they're like, no. I'll make it work.
Yeah. And then you can be like, so am I that? You say all of that about your coworker and your work. And then you're like, so am I that ass? Oh my gosh, it's going to go so viral.
Yeah, and we'll post that in the catch-up one.
Post that in the catch-up subreddit. Someone's going to screenshot it, post it to Twitter, and then a robot voice on TikTok is going to read it.
Oh, sorry. We have to mention that it's a podcast. Also, I'm a podcast host. We'll put that somewhere in the middle, in the context area.
Maybe go back and where you were talking about talking to that one girl. Maybe just say she was a huge fan of this one podcast called the Jock Podcast.
That's what she said to me over text from her cruise. Because she said, that's all there is to do after a while. It's either eat or just listen to a podcast while you lay out in the sun.
Oh, no. I was saying this is the girl that you didn't date, but, had a talking stage with. And just be like, so for additional context, she loved this podcast. And
I'm not saying that's why I was disinterested in her. If anything, that made me more interested. But, it was more the financial, our careers were heading in different directions. She was, looking more to settle down and have a family. I'm still kind of, I like to go for weekend getaways and stuff that are easy and I don't have to plan as much. So that's kind of where I'm at. Anyway, I think we're good. I think we got it.
I think that's good. Yeah.
Anyway, so
gonna go so viral. Oh my gosh.
Interior. Cal, the former lab rat, now spy extraordinaire, is being chased by goons through a top-secret research facility. From now on, I need to avoid these guys like the plague, the bubonic plague, which is a reference that makes sense because I'm a...
Doctor...
Yeah, oh.
What's going on in here?
Oh, so,
What are you doing?
I've been trying to work on sort of this, our streaming service. We've been really excited to bring a new thing, and I'm trying to make a show starring our influencer friend, Cal, the formerly out-of-work lab rat.
Is Cal here? It sounded like you trying to do a Cal impression. It was good, but...
Thanks. Yeah, no, he couldn't make it for this session. He did say he could, and he scheduled it with me, but no, he couldn't make it today. Thank you. I've been working on my Cal impression. I'm hoping I can...
Oh, no, I mean, maybe good enough for a fun party trick, but not like to go professional or anything like that. You don't sound exactly like Cal. Like it does sound Dr. London doing Cal.
I'm not a rat. Is ultimately what it like.
That is part of it. You're too loud. With Cal, you have to really get in there to hear what he's trying to say.
You doing it for like 2 seconds just now was so much better. Is that the reason we even had access to Cal, which I think he's going to come to our next session, is because Caldera Lab does not experiment on animals, and they are actually a sponsor for the podcast. So, I guess I should go ahead and share about that. So Caldera Lab, compliments are guaranteed. It's just a great skincare company. They helped us to get in touch with both our sort of inner beauty showing outward, and also with this very famous rat. Caldera Lab creates high performance men's.
This is part of your spy script?
Yeah, I mean, word for word. Do you not like? Does it not work? Because I have been wanting feedback.
No, it's good. I would say maybe, you had this like really like narrator kind of cadence before.
Do you want to give a shot at the narration then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exterior. Outside of the building that Cal was in a second ago.
Oh man, they're really after me. Whoa! Take that!
Cal was got trapped in a string, and he was saying, "Take that," as he was trying to get out of said string. It was kind of wrapped around him.
Oh no! Whoa! Foiled again! Which is the kind of thing that a hero says in this version, not the bad guy. But I think it is worth mentioning that Caldera Lab does create high-performance men's skincare products, and they do have this whole regimen lined up, and I feel like I can work this in. I feel like I can make it sound natural, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So it's a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. The regimen includes 3 products: the clean slate, the base layer, and the good. The clean slate starts to end your day. It's the face wash that leaves all skin types refreshed. The base layer is your daily moisturizer to hydrate your skin and jumpstart your day full of confidence. The good is your go-to multifunctional serum at night to help your skin look tighter and smoother, as well as help reduce the visibility of wrinkles and fine lines. Every drop in the serum is packed with antioxidants to protect your skin. And
exterior. Cal is now spying on his mortal enemy, that one string that he keeps getting wrapped up in.
Okay. All I need is scissors, right? Or I guess I could chew through it. But man, the last time it got me so good. Oh, and it's plotting over there. I can see it. Okay.
Cal begins losing his mind with anger.
What if I'm just so... I wish I had like a clear sort of stratagem of reason for my emotion, but I am just so mad.
Cal tuckers himself out and he takes a little nap.
And the Caldera Lab Icon Eye Serum addresses the 3 most common skin concerns around the eye: fine lines, dark circles, and puffiness. Caldera Lab is later men's skincare. They don't experiment on animals, which we think is a perk. It's made only with top-tier ingredients, and clinical trials have found that 94% of men's skin showed an overall younger appearance after using Caldera Lab for a few weeks. It's a minute, morning, night, to reduce your wrinkles, fine lines, and signs of aging. And just for our audience, we have an exclusive offer, the best offer available anywhere. Use JockDoc at calderalab.com and get 20% off right now. That's 20% off with code JockDoc at calderalab.com and make unforgettable first impressions where compliments are guaranteed. 20% off at calderalab.com with code JockDoc.
Interior. Cal starts to stir and wake up. He doesn't know how he got inside after he got tuckered out and took a little nap. But he had the best nap of his life.
Wow, at least I'm refreshed, but I don't really see. I guess I should go outside again, right? Wasn't that what I was trying to do from the start?
He tries to get up, but oh no, twist. That string is now wrapped around him.
No.
He can't get up.
No! And later, Cameron says that we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London.
But before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So, for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of that one weird kid in class who refused to eat glue. However, in our efforts to cater to him, we found that we were neglecting the many, him or her, or them. We found that we were neglecting the many bot accounts that download our podcast. This week's feedback comes from a bot on Instagram on our video response to a user who had said, "Take your meds, schizo." User at Brainiacs Ahoy said, quote, "Wow," end quote. So, yeah, we got this whole lot. This podcast was previously a World of Warcraft news podcast. So, just the news. We didn't, get into the specifics. None of us actually played the game.
I had never played the game, but I knew a lot of the, professional players.
Yeah. Personally, you knew that.
Yeah. Oh, I hated their guts, and I had no, the World of Warcraft stuff, I knew nothing about.
That was so boring. Yeah, and
And so the site was mostly a blog about them. I saw Jeremy again today. He was so rude.
Yeah. Do you want to... I don't want to get too into it, but, do you need to share what he did?
Yeah, so...
Just for a peek at what the blog is like?
So he was so rude. He must have been so mad because he must have stepped on a little World of Warcraft figurine. But then I figure out, it's a video game.
When you say he must have, did you see any of it? Or...
No, that's just, me trying to make a joke. He must have just, stepped on a Lego kind of thing. Because he's so mad.
But it's because...
He was just a jerk. He was just rude. He said, where are we ordering DoorDash from? This was in 2006 or whatever. Said in a really rude way, as opposed to saying, Cameron, what is your favorite kind of food? And then quiz me and then figure out an ideal place for me. Order for me like an actual gentleman is sort of what I'm getting at.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
So that was the blog, the World of Warcraft blog that we ran. This podcast used to be an extension of that blog. Now, of course, it is a medical podcast as well as a podcast where we discuss snowboarding, the woke mind virus, agriculture, Indiana Pacers,
feudalism.
Samsung tech support.
Feudalism
feudalism.
Been a big part of it lately.
And the top 10 spookiest houses in the U.S.
Stay tuned. Coming up later. Anyway, so to that listener, Brainiacs Ahoy, thank you for listening. Now for today's medical topic, Myasthenia Gravis. So Myasthenia Gravis is a disorder of muscular weakness due to the production of antibodies against acetylcholine receptors at the neuromuscular junction. Patients with Myasthenia Gravis will often present, they'll describe double vision, difficulty chewing, having abnormalities in their vocals, or weakness of limb muscles that's worse at the end of the day. That's for a lot of their muscular issues. It's worse at the end of the day. And the reason why these are basically superpowers, Dr. London. You're the world, and these patients of yours are the mutants in X-Men, and you're trying to keep them down. Double vision? And weak limbs?
That's insane. That could be his X-Men nickname, Double Vision.
Yeah. Yeah, I just... Is weak limbs really, that much of a power, though?
Well, if you, X-Men logic here, Yes.
Yeah, okay. I know you do like to play X-Men logic games.
And so by the logic of X-Men, yes, because maybe there would be some sort of like monster that if you punch too hard, it doesn't work. It doesn't kill them. So you have to punch really softly. And all the other X-Men are too strong. So you've got weak arm. You call it weak arm.
Okay, so yeah, okay. So I guess from someone's perspective, I don't want to label this as like a horrible thing either. So sure, you can find some hope within what you're dealing with. But anyway, the reason why those are the most common presenting symptoms is because those muscles in the eyes and mouth are often the only two muscular activities universally done by people, because everyone eats and looks around.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Physical examination of patients with myasthenia gravis reveals ptosis, which is a droopy eye, physical weakness with sustained activity, and normal pupillary responses. So severe myasthenia gravis, it does affect respiratory muscles. That's one reason why this can be a dangerous condition.
Droopy eye, I don't think would be with the X-Men. That would be with like Magneto and his crew.
Okay.
I don't know what they're called.
Same universe, just opposing sides.
Because just droopy eye, that's a scoundrel. That is someone asking for trouble.
Okay. I don't have any like, sure, yeah. So the best...
You think droopy eye would make a good X-Men? I'm sorry. Get real here, Dr. London.
I think that droopy eye would be more likely to be accepted by the X-Men. Because, as you said, not a great power, but like the X-Men are supposed to be the good guys and nice, and I feel like Magneto wouldn't tolerate the bad. Like a less harmful...
I guess. Are you trying to say...
I don't know that
that
they would... I think it would be like they would go to the school for gifted children, but like that's...
Yeah.
But they'd be like, oh yeah, you're very gifted, kind of thing.
Okay, I can side. I can get that. I think now when I put myself in the shoes of someone with a droopy eye, I think I would still be a good guy.
Okay.
Even though the world had scorned me so much.
Yeah. So the best initial diagnostic test for myasthenia gravis is with acetylcholinesterase receptor antibody test. And that's 80-90% sensitive, and for patients who have symptoms but don't have those antibodies, you order an anti-MuSK antibodies test. And that's muscle-specific kinase. The MuSK means muscle-specific kinase. That's what it's referring to. Not to some other billionaire guy. I just want to...
Well, I was thinking X-Men-wise, anti-MuSK, that would be someone who has no smell. So they can get anywhere they want and no one will smell them.
Other diagnostic testing includes edrophonium, which is a short-acting inhibitor of acetylcholinesterase. When edrophonium is used on patients with myasthenia gravis, it causes a temporary bump up in acetylcholine levels, and that's associated with a clear improvement of motor function that lasts for a few minutes. So basically, the symptoms improve really quickly for a few minutes on this edrophonium, and then that's a test to see what the problem is. The most accurate test for myasthenia gravis is electromyography, which will show decreased strength with repetitive stimulation. If asked on exams, what imaging test should be done for myasthenia gravis? Choose something with a chest. That's an X-ray, a CT, or MRI to look for a thymoma or thymic hyperplasia, and CT with contrast is the best imaging for this.
Now, repetitive stimulation, I don't know if I trust that guy.
Okay. The best initial treatment for myasthenia gravis is with neostigmine or pyridostigmine, which is a long-acting version of the edrophonium drug that I mentioned earlier. If there's no response to either of those drugs, and the patient is under 60 years old, you can go to thymectomy, which is cutting out that thymic area. If they're over 60, you can try prednisone. The main point is to suppress T-cell function in order to control those antibodies that are being made against acetylcholine receptors. In refractory and recurrent myasthenia gravis, rituximab can be used to eliminate CD20 cells, which are the source of the antibodies that attack the acetylcholine receptors. Eculizumab can also be used to remove complement, which destroys receptors. Acute myasthenic crisis presents with severe overwhelming disease with profound weakness or respiratory involvement. So it's like, instead of a long-term version, it's a very fast, hard-hitting version of myasthenia gravis. Treatments for these patients is with IV immunoglobulin or with plasmapheresis.
Plasmapheresis could be a good guy.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. All right, Cameron, you said that we have a guest today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London.
All right. Wow. Hello there. My name is drlondonsmith.com. This is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
Hi, drlondonsmith.com. And hello, Cameron. My name is Lu-cious Vanderbilt. Excuse me for just a moment. I need to collect myself.
Yeah, thank you. We get that a lot.
Are you in pain, or is everything okay?
Oh, I'm in agony, Cameron.
Oh, no.
I am absolutely distraught.
I have these kind of patients a lot.
So I'm not the only one.
Scale of 1 to 10.
drlondonsmith.com.
Well, we have a pain scale. Okay. I guess the sounds are a little bit different from usual, but...
Yeah, I mean, the pain scale's from a scale of smiley face to red, mad, frowny face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a pain that hurts so good. I don't know how to better describe it.
Okay. Well, just look at the smileys and sads faces. One of them has.
Well, which one of them looks the most coy?
Okay. I guess number 3, maybe. He looks pretty.
I'm gonna
coy.
say the winky face looks like he's up to no good.
Okay. Well, Cameron drew that one on. That's.
Yeah, it looks hand drawn.
Oh, this one I got from my doctor. Winky face. There's the emoji that's saluting.
Oh, I'm doing a bit of a salute myself. And I don't want you to mistake it. This is something that happens a lot. They might think that you yourself, Dr. London Smith, or that you, Cameron, might be having an effect on me, and I must tell you, it is nothing personal. It's simply a condition that I have.
So, what brings you here today? And sorry, what was your name again?
Oh, I'm in need. My name is Lu-cious, but you can call me Lou. And I'm in trouble, Dr. London Smith. I am in dire straits. I need your help because I can't help but be permanently aroused. Even just describing my ailment brings me such joy and such a rush of blood to the head, and I wish I meant the thing above my shoulders, but I'm also permanently erect. I have a perma erection, and it's embarrassing.
Oh, I think no, it's not. It's fine.
In the best way.
Like, have you ever considered wearing 2 belts?
2 belts? Ooh, restraint.
Just because, like.
Well, believe you me, I've tried to suppress it. Basically, it's the harder I try not to be aroused, I just get more aroused. It's just there's no defeating it. There's no defeating it.
Is this like if it lasts for longer than 4 hours, contact your Viagra salesman or whatever?
I wish it only lasted 4 hours. I can't tell you how jealous I am of all the people in those commercials. If it only lasted 4 hours for me, I would be a completely different person, and I wouldn't be seeking your help, Dr. London Smith.
Well, so whenever you said you were aroused, then I thought, okay, well, he feels a certain way a lot of the time. But if, I don't know if you've ever heard of...
I'm never not horny, doctor.
Well, and I feel that's kind of everyone, okay? I don't want to, make you feel...
Are you minimalizing my pain? Because it is turning me on.
I mean, so what I need to specify here is...
Don't tell me you're gaslighting me.
Well, I usually...
Oh, no, you want to be gaslit?
I usually am, honestly.
Being gaslit does it too? Okay.
Don't do it. Don't gaslight
So the
me.
one actual medical thing I would say is, if you've had it for more than 4 hours, then I would say, you're going to watch out for priapism, because that member of the body can, break.
It can?
Yeah. I don't know if you... Okay. And that is a weird thing to be aroused by, I'll admit.
You are scaring the out of me right now.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not there yet. It's not. I'm on the verge, but I'm not there. And don't worry. Oh,
You know, it is okay to just be a really horny guy. Like, that's not something that necessarily needs to be fixed. I would say lock yourself in a room just because you shouldn't be in public like that.
well, I'm afraid. I've developed certain agoraphobic tendencies. I've tried so hard to relieve myself, and I have relieved myself, but I don't experience what is known as a refractory period. I'm never not horny, even after the most blissful orgasm. I still am left wanting for more. And I feel it. I'm always at the edge of an orgasm myself. And even when I orgasm, it's still just the edge of another orgasm.
Have you tried like the basic kind of tips, like take a cold shower, or think of your grandmother, something that might turn you off?
Everything you've tried, I have, and it only makes me hornier. And it's such a pain, especially when I don't want to think about such things. I don't want to think about my grandma, but then I think about my grandma. And then I need a third belt.
Oh, but you think she's sexy anyway. You see.
No, that's the worst. She wasn't. She was mean and pruny. She was like she was like the uglier than the wicked witch of the West, and yet please stop. You're giving me the visions I don't want.
You're getting to be a little bit mean, because like some of us kind of had a crush on the wicked witch of the West growing up, and like she. Like, I get that she wasn't everyone's first choice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kink shame Dr. London Smith.
Yeah, but here you did. And, I just want to say, like, it's okay to like...
Hey, don't cry, buddy. Hey, it's okay.
Well, no, it's just like, my favorite color is green.
No. It's no one meant to shame you. It's fine. It's okay. You had a crush on the gross witch with the wart and everything, scared children. I feel like the solution here is to try to channel it into something else, right? Like...
Well, yeah.
Art or something? Just make really horny art? That's a thing.
Like, not to stop it altogether, but to redirect it, like a sort of like a sexual kung fu, like redirecting the energy.
There is a film industry.
Oh, you mean I could be a porn star?
That would be a great option. But yeah, the Me Too movement has made it where the entertainment industry is not as accepting towards extremely constantly horny guys.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, I believe sex work is work, but even if I tried going into the sex work, I feel like that would have been my superpower, and I gave it a try. But as soon as the director said action, it was too late. I was already I was too aroused. Oh, and it was off-putting to all the women and the men. I thought maybe this would go away. I'm not even pan, but I figured I'd try anything just to discourage my erection, and here I am, fully erect in front of a man I'm not attracted to, and he's enjoying it way more than I am. Oh, reminiscing about painful experiences turns me on.
I mean, I don't know if Dr. London would be able to do this, or if you'd have to go to a specialist, but have you considered castration? Or chemical castration?
Oh my goodness, you mean, oh my goodness. Cutting myself or damaging my body?
No. Having someone else cut you.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. You can do it if you want, if that like gets you off.
Well, I don't know. That could be one of two things. That could either cure me of my constant arousal, or
get that blood flowing to a dead end.
I mean, it's almost like pinching a hose. Well, it's got to go somewhere. That sounds like an awful risk. Ooh, but the idea of taking a risk. Oh,
yeah. So I'd say maybe
what started all this? Sorry, Dr. London.
Well, I think it is one of those things where you can tell if these things are physiological or like anatomical. Like you can check. There's the stamp test to put on your genitals, but that's usually for if something's not working. In this case, it seems like everything's working, and it sounds like it's mental as well as physical.
It's working too well, doctor.
Yeah,
working too well.
So
And
I don't know that stuff would necessarily solve it. But Cameron, what was your other idea?
I was just going to ask, have you always been like this, or was there something that triggered it?
Oh, puberty was the worst.
I had my experience was so different. Okay.
Well, Dr. London, you were in your late 20s by the time.
Oh, were you a late bloomer?
Like you could drive, which really changes the puberty experience.
When did you experience puberty, Doc?
When Let's see. From what I've read, I'm almost there. Like I'm revving up. It's about to happen.
You're revving up.
And-
That's exciting.
Well, it's like, it's just once again like one of these things you just have to study for, and everyone else studied a lot more earlier on in their lives, so I'm kind of playing catch up on it. And but I am excited to someday have that experience where I too am like seeking medical help for my
Hold on a
feelings.
minute, Doc. Are you saying you have to study in order to go through puberty?
As far as they've told me.
Yeah, you've got to do the quizzes and the tests, and then once you pass the test, you're allowed to go into puberty. We all did it.
All I know is that as soon as my dad gave me the birds and the bees talk, I was fully aroused to the point where he couldn't ignore it and had to. He left and he never came back. And it's this painful arousal that I experienced has pushed everyone I loved and everyone I've wanted to meet further and further away from me. I haven't been on a date since I can't even remember. Oh,
It seems like there's an app for this, like sure, because I get that there are apps that are like kind of designed for what one would call hooking up. Although maybe you don't get to the point of actually hooking up.
Yeah, because it kind of sounds like if you haven't been on a date and you don't know how long, do you just need to get laid? Is essentially what this is?
I wish I could just get laid, but no one has given me the time to explain why I'm fully aroused upon meeting them. It's
Okay, this I relate to. The people will not listen to me explain stuff for the date.
You have to explain yourself upon meeting as well, Doc? Oh.
Before I meet, preferably. Usually.
I mean, I think this is just one of those things that you just gotta get a remote job, maybe like write some erotica.
Oh, I do. I have an OnlyFans. People watch me all day. In fact, they're watching me right now.
Oh, we're on it?
Yeah, well, they can't see you. They just see me talking to you. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just me.
So this, I don't,
Yeah.
okay.
No. You can stay fully clothed, although if you clothed or no, being fully clothed or fully naked is going to make no difference to me. Nor to my viewers because they can't see you. But yes, that's what I do. I'm constantly aroused, and I found a fetish. I found my flock, as it were, the people who pay to watch me be constantly aroused.
Wait, and you think this is a problem that should be fixed, but it's giving you financial stability?
Well, I get to meet people digitally. I get to meet people, and I'm not making a pun about fingers. I meet people online, but I don't have any friends in real life. No one can stand to be near me.
Oh, that's true. After this, I don't know that I plan to stand near you either. But that's just...
So you understand what I'm going through?
No.
Not like on a strong empathetic level, no. But like, I comprehend that you're going through something.
Oh no, him comprehending something, comprehending what you meant is a turn on as well.
Please comprehend. Please. Or don't. It makes no difference.
Okay. Well, I think it's about time to... Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to? Any of your fans on OnlyFans or anyone else?
So many fans. I want to thank Billy D. I want to thank Jamie R. and Sibian for sponsoring this performance. This whole time I've been atop a Sibian. This whole time, it's not on. It doesn't need to be. It still has the same effect.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So shout out to the machine he's on. And just to clarify, Dr. Fix Me is listeners. Go check out Dr. Fix Me, the podcast and live performer thing.